Hi Mr. Matthew and friends, I'm Brayden and today I'll be talking about my social enterprise page New Perspectives. In the top left corner you can see my social enterprise logo NP with a dot on the P to represent eyes that represents perspectives that will be changing through this social enterprise. So here's an overview of our presentation. First, I'll talk about the social cause, followed by our product, take another look. Thirdly, I'll be talking about social enterprise model, and fourth, but not least, sustainable competitive advantages. Here's our social cause, ex-convicts. Do you think of them as people who steal, who burglar, who abuse, or do you think of people who are empathetic because of the events that they went through in their life, or even people who have gratitude because of their second chance at society, or even people who learn resourcefulness in their time in prison? Well, chances are most of the time we focus on the first part. This is due to stigmatization, which is the action of describing or regarding someone as worthy of disgrace. This is the most cited constraint in an ex-convict's reintegration into society. Furthermore, in a recent survey done by the Workers' Matters Conversation by the National Trade Union Council in 2023, discrimination and stigmatization is still apparent in the hiring process and daily life in the office. Well, this stigmatization leads to unemployability and discrimination of the ex-convicts, and in the long run, this will lead to a higher rate of recidivism, which Singapore has kept low at the 20.4% in the recent years. So let's keep it that way. So what is the problem, you ask? Well, due to stigmatization, ex-convicts have to face unfair treatment and a biased opinion of them in the workplace. Hence, we have to shift perspectives of those around them to be able to see the full picture of ex-convicts and not just their flaws to ensure safe and proper treatment. So what is my social enterprise going to do? It is simple. Our social mission is to allow people to see the full picture of ex-convicts and not just their flaws through the creation of events and products. So here's our product. Take another look. A conversation host. Well, our objectives of this game are simple. It is to facilitate a safe environment to host loving and deep conversation, and to allow both participants to take another look to see the unspoken or unseen qualities of one another, particularly the ex-convict. Why? It's because sometimes we have a negative bias and we tend to look at traits of negativity in another person more than the positive. So what is this game about? Well, in a deck of cards, it comes with 20 questions with a range of questions from surface to deep level questions, represented by the colors orange, pink, and blue. Questions can range from what's your favorite food to deeper level questions such as what are the regrets you have in life. This gives space to talk about a person's life in full, and for the ex-convict, their charges included, as our purpose is not to ignore it either. Along with the deck comes with a guide on how to create a safe environment with tips on active listening and transparency within the conversation. Here's our target market: corporations or businesses which house ex-convicts. This can be, as the cards can be used between employer and employee, co-workers, and even by the HR department. Looking forward into the future, we also want to look at it given to counselors in the prison services. We also want to extend this to anyone who wants to get to know an ex-convict. Whether if you know someone from families or friends with ex-convicts, you can give it to them too. And we also want to give this to anyone who wants to get to know anyone on a deeper level, as our cards are also broad and can be given to anyone to use in any situation or any social setting. Here's our social enterprise model, which is the social needs model. This is because of our focus on our social mission to fight against discrimination of ex-convicts, and that 100% of our profits go back into the funding of our projects and events. So, what are the competitive and sustainable advantages? Well, a deck of cards can be kept in your pocket and be brought anywhere during any social setting such as parties or even working events. The guide and as well, it can be a tool to learn dialogue and listening skills, as the guide included is a teaching tool to help one cultivate good listening and dialogue practices. And lastly, it is not limited to conversations with ex-convicts, as due to the wide range of questions, anyone can use such questions and cards for any purpose, not limited to ex-convicts. So, thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and hopefully you have learned a thing or two about what we can do for ex-convicts. Thank you.